welcome to the session. Hope you all are doing good, right? And taking good care of yourself. Today, in continuation to our previous discussions, today we will be discussing again one more topic related to new startups. So we have discussed the challenges faced in this one, selecting the new enterprises, then what are the problems they face, right? Now, today we will be discussing why new ventures fail generally. You can ask yourself, you can go to MCA website, you can go to on the internet sources where the research or information is provided about number of enterprises started in Bangalore or registered in Bangalore in the last year or last 2 years. Basically, you go to 2 years back data, how many new companies registered, okay, and how many active companies are there today, that is in the third year. So you'll come to know how many companies started and how many companies closed their operations within 2 years or just after. 2 years they didn't do any financial transaction and their company got closed. Okay, so the government has some standards because of which if a company, a registered company, private limited or public limited company, which has not done any business financial transactions in the past 2 years, that is substantial financial transactions other than the mandatory payments like rent, taxes and all, other than these, if the company has not done any financial transaction, substantial financial transaction, and the balance sheet shows that nil profits or nil sales, such companies are by default, when they do not apply or submit their financial statements to MCA and do not file returns, then such companies automatically government will strike off from the register. That is, registrar of companies maintaining the register, it will strike off the name of those companies which are not performing and also not submitting their balance sheets. Now, this is for registered companies, right? So, like private limited, public limited, and there is like limited liability partnership, single person companies. There are other business types, like you may have a sole trading concern, you may have a partnership, right? You may have a trust, you may also have a cooperative society, right? These are some of, you may also have a Hindu undivided family business. So these are also different types of business forms through which companies are brought into effect. Now, we don't have any data related to individuals, that is sole trading concerns starting their businesses and closing their businesses. Like, we don't know how many hotels opened and closed, how many retail stores opened and closed in the past 1 year. It is very, very difficult to accumulate information about that particular data. Okay, large scale, we can identify. There is one department made by government, that is mediums, micro, small and medium enterprises. All the companies which register with this MSME, we will get the data about micro, small and medium enterprises. But sole trading concerns, partnerships, cooperative societies, if you accumulate all this data, the number of companies which failed is huge. Right? It's huge actually. So we always try to look at the brighter side. Like, we always have a habit of reading the success stories, I told you. We don't look at the failures, okay? And we don't try to learn from their mistakes, right? We just don't consider them as like they have tried. We don't. Maybe it may happen that their efforts are not respected. Their say commitment was not considered, etc., etc. The society ignores them basically. Failures are not considered, but actually, as an intelligent person who is going to get into entrepreneurship, should also look into the stories of those enterprises which failed, because that's where you will learn what mistakes should you avoid when you are starting your own business. Okay, from the successful, okay, you will come to know what you can do. But those failure stories will tell you what you should not do, which is very, very important. So today, as I said, we will be discussing why new ventures fail. Okay, very important. So much support is given by the government, state government, central government, local government. So many facilities are being provided, financial facilities, infrastructure facilities, right? The tax benefits, etc., etc. So many things are being provided by governments, but still, even the population, present population, they're very they're ready to take a risk and start their own enterprises. Okay, you see so many. Like I said, there are so many companies get registered every year, but still companies fail. Now we have to look at why these companies fail. I put across one question for you people in the group, asking, if provided an opportunity, what business you would like to start? Okay, provided an opportunity. Many of you may say that I want to go for a job. Fine, go for a job. But if opportunity knocks at your door, what business you would like to start? Okay. So we have discussed in the previous classes 3 sections, like challenges faced, what are the problems in new venture selection, what are the points, crucial points we should consider, etc., etc. You discussed those 3 points. Again, when I asked you this question, I also asked you to provide reasons why you wanted to get into that particular business. I got replies from five people, right? Someone want to start a own business school, someone want to get into agriculture business, someone want to start electronic vehicle manufacturing of his own plant, someone want to start say chemical sales, share market, agri-based business, real estate, right? Then someone want to get into consultancy, where she want to place the commerce and management students or any students in general case. I have made sure to ask more questions to those people who have replied to me. Okay, hope I have not missed anyone's messages, but again, and I have asked. I made sure I ask additional questions and give some work to your brain to think through the idea which is running into your mind. Okay, reason is, many of the time what happens is, we look at the larger picture of what is happening in the market. Okay, many of the time it may happen that it is our intuition because of which we get into business. Many of the time it happens out of intuition, out of observation, out of reading, right? So because of which we keep on getting ideas, right? And every time when an idea comes, we try to have some reference points. Okay, that person is running a business school, this person is running an electronic vehicle manufacturing, this person is running a consultancy, etc., etc. Right? We have a reference point and try to justify ourselves that my decision is correct. My decision is correct, and so I want to get it. The question here is whether the question is not to prove that I am right. Okay. It's not to prove that I am right, my decision is right. Okay. The question is how foolproof my idea is. I may be right or I may be wrong. The idea may be small, the idea may be large. Okay. Like I said, Tea Shop Chai Point makes 10 crores. There are software companies which are earning only 1 crore. Okay. So idea, it is not that software companies which are sitting in a room or a laptop. They are not, everyone is not making crores together. There are companies which earn 5 crores, 6 crore, 3 crore, 2 crores. They call themselves as IT service providers. And there are some like Big Bazaar, D-Mart, MK Ahmed store, More store. They do more than these software companies. Okay. So idea may be big or small. So point here is, when I asked you question, I don't want you to be adamant in saying that no, this is correct. This is what I'm going to do. This is correct. When you are saying that this point is correct, you should have some information. You should have done some analysis. You should have done some comparative study, right? You should have also considered all the competition which is existing in the market. Then you should arrive at a decision whether the business you are thinking about is viable. Then you have to say whether your decision is correct. Today the decision may be right, but after 2 months you may start getting the feeling that, oh, my decision is not right, or my decision is so good but I don't have money. So there is no location, particular location for businesses. Like, it is not a standpoint, it is a journey. Right? It is a journey which you have to carry for, let's say, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 40 years. So during the journey, how can you say that my decision is right at this point? Okay, at this point it may be right, but situations are changing, environment is changing every day. Political scenario is changing, technical scenario is changing, economic scenario is changing. The decision is right today, tomorrow it may not be right. So that is why I said, it's not about whether you are right or wrong. It is about how well you have developed your business idea, how you have made sure it is foolproof, okay, so that there is no failures, right? So there are some points which we need to consider when we are starting our own enterprises or advising someone to start the businesses. We need to consider these points. Make sure avoid these points so that your businesses do not get closed. Okay. So first and foremost is most important here, though very generalized point, it is your commitment. Your commitment. If you don't have your commitment towards your business idea, towards your business, if you cannot give time to your business idea, to your child, don't get into business. No. It's your journey. You have to walk. Okay, you can make other people to come and board the train, but it is you who have to drive. It is your thought process, your futuristic orientation, okay, your vision, your definition of visions, which will define the business. So unless and until you are committed to the business, if you are not committed to the business, don't get into that ship. Don't ever try to walk that path. So commitment from the entrepreneurs is the most crucial point, because of which enterprises fail. Initially, they don't want to work for any individual, any company. They don't want to become a servant, so they want to become their own business, own boss, and they start for an excitement, because of an excitement. Idea is also good, but they are not able to give their best. They are not committed to the idea. They are not serious about the idea. They do not spend much time on scrutinizing the ideas, developing the ideas, collecting information, etc., etc. Or let's say business is running, but they don't have their commitment. Like, they are only going at 1 o'clock, coming at 4 o'clock. Right? So if entrepreneurs are not committed, businesses get closed. They don't even require 1 year. It don't even require. I'm speaking out of experience. Okay, they don't even require 1 year to get closed. If you're not committed, your business will get closed within 6 months. Within 6 months. Okay. Next is limited knowledge of market. Limited knowledge of market. Many of the time it happens that we become product centric or service centric. In the sense, We only think about our product. Okay, this is my product. My product is awesome. My product has X. My product has Y. My product has Z. My product has A, B, C, D. My service has this, right? But do the customers need it? Do the customers have the need? Do they really want your product? Okay. Do they really have purchase power? What are the substitute products available in the market? How much demand your product has? Do you have the capacity to manufacture so many products and supply into the market? Where your market is located? What are the demographics of your market? All those aspects you have to look into. But what happened, many of the time we became, as I said, product centric. We think about only our product. We don't think about the customers or markets. We only think about our service, and we think that yes, my service is awesome, my product is awesome, my customers will buy. Gone are the days. Gone are the days. Because when Fiat started, they used to say, the Fiat owner, the person who started Fiat, they used to say, I will sell as many cars as I want till the color is black. That's the saying, a very, very famous saying from Fiat in US when they started. Now, they manufacture only black cars. And now, they're not even leading in the market. Imagine how many cars are there, how many varieties of cars have come. I mean, there is a huge opportunity. There was a huge opportunity for this company to manufacture different colors, different designs of products. Right? We became product centered. Take Indian example. Ambassador, Premier Padmini, both the competitors, they acquired market like huge, 6 months waiting line. Where are they now? Product is good, quality is good. You cannot find the kind of product what Mercedes, this our Ambassador has. You cannot find any other vehicles built. But where are they? They are out of business. Hindustan Motors is closed. They become more product centric. Where is Nokia? Where is Motorola, who started mobiles, handsets? Where are they now in the market? Once upon a time, Nokia was having highest number of market share across the globe. Where are they now? Right? So that is why we become product centric and we become service centric. We only think about ourselves. We don't have knowledge, complete knowledge about the market. That is about your customers. Different aspects of the market, about your customers, their purchase power, their economic aspect, technical aspect, competition aspect, needs, wants, demands, purchase power, etc. So knowledge of this is very, very crucial. Next is your inadequate testing. Inadequate testing of product market fit. It is again in the connection with these 2 points are very well connected. What happened? I said I am very product centric, or I am service centric. I think about my product and I think about my service. I don't care about others. Okay, I am not considering others. Even I am not considering the customer views. I am not worried about what customer is thinking. I don't have any knowledge about customer. I know my product is good and it will get sold. That is what my thought process is. And what I have not done? I have not done enough testing. Test marketing is very, very important. Very important. Many of the companies which start new products after research and development, especially happens with cold drinks. Like Pepsi, whenever they want to come up with new variety of product, like their juices or carbonated drinks, they always do their test marketing. Like even Diet Coke, when they came up with Diet Coke, what they did is like they will keep, how they do it, they will keep three varieties of three samples of the drink. One is more sugary, one is less sugary, one is no sugar, right? Now they ask one by one, they will send customers into the room, they will ask the customer to taste the product and then they will take the preference. Okay, so that's how they do. That is controlled environment. One more test marketing is like what I will do. I will keep my product in the shelf of supermarkets, and I will also give money to the customers and ask him to go and shop. So I will observe him whether he will reach that my product which is kept on the shelf. Sometimes these shampoo companies, what they do, they will distribute free samples, 1 rupees free samples. If you visit D-Marts, in front of D-Mart, you will find one or the other company distributing free samples. Like there will be some fellow who is selling coffee, there will be some fellow who is distributing free juice samples. Come sir, taste it. Come sir, taste it. So free sampling. What they are doing basically? They are trying to do the test marketing, trying to understand whether my product is meeting the customer needs or not, whether there is a proper fit into expectations and realities. If there is no proper fit, then I have to do innovation in my product, do more value addition, and then get into the market. Without test marketing, imagine 1 crore rupees Mercedes vehicle. If they don't do test marketing and directly they get into production and bring the product into market, and if they don't have any customers who buy, imagine how much expenditure they have incurred, how much losses they may incur, because that 1 crore product they might have incurred 50 lakh rupees, and imagine they have manufactured some 100 units, how many crores they will be in loss if there is no one to buy. So test marketing is very, very important. So do test marketing, do the variations in your product, and again get into the market. Next is, so generally what happens, many of the entrepreneurs, they don't do test marketing. Directly manufacture, pack, and send it to the market. They are not trying to understand the customer preferences, customer tastes, right? So when they didn't try to understand, then they are at a loss. So they have manufactured already, they have invested so much, but the products are not getting sold. Eventually, we will get into losses and close the businesses. Next is your lack of required experience. Lack of required experience of founders and teams. Founders and teams. We have discussed this challenge. It is very difficult to hire good people in startups. Very difficult. People will join 6 months, 1 year, they will quit, they will go to some other company. It's very, very difficult to retain quality employees. And many of these new generation startups, they don't have experience of running the business. Reading book is different, running business is different. Being an employee is different, being an owner is different, right? So they don't have experience of recruitment, experience of advertising, experience of distribution, experience of marketing research, experience of supply chain, experience of packaging. They don't have any experience, especially new generation entrepreneurs. Okay, information is available. Okay, information is available, but by reading book, by reading book, you cannot become a successful cook in the first instance. Okay, you will not become an awesome cook by reading how to cook in 30 days. You'll not become. How to become a martial art expert in 30 days. Everyone would have been a martial art expert in 30 days by reading the book. No, it's not possible. It's not possible. It requires experience. Running a business requires experience. Experience of handling teams, experience of making decisions, experience of handling customers, right? So these startups lack this experience because new generations stayed away from the college, or during the college they start the businesses. They don't try to get the experience. Especially it happens with the people who are first generation entrepreneurs. They are the first generation who are starting getting into businesses. Luckily, if their father, mother, or uncle, aunt, someone is in the business, then good. They get the support. But they lack the experience. If they lack the experience, that is again a problem. And like experience of founders and teams. Teams, as I said, freshers try to join these startups. Experienced people will not come to startups because salaries are less, work will be more. Okay, if they join 1 year, they will go. So because this is one of the reasons because of which companies get closed. Remember this: great companies are built by people, and even great companies are destroyed by people. You may have an awesome product, but if your sales team is not good, you'll not be able to sell even one product. You may have a product which is not awesome, 2-3 flaws in it. But if your sales team is good, highly motivated, they will definitely sell the product. So it is people who build or who will destroy the enterprises. So this is also one of the reasons because of which companies fail. For this, we have a solution. In the last session, we discussed mentoring, advisory boards, consultancy. So that is one of the solution what we can think about when we are getting into businesses. Next reason for failure is not thinking through whole business model. Whole business model. What happens here? The person who has started the enterprise, he will think only about the product features. He will not think about how to advertise. Or he will think about advertising. Okay, I will advertise in YouTube, I will advertise in Facebook, etc., etc. But he doesn't have any knowledge about how to supply the products to market. He doesn't have any information about how to raise funds. Okay. So not thinking through whole business model. Business is not just your manufacturing of product or providing service. There are so many things involved in business. You have finance, you have marketing, you have HR, you have production, you have logistics, you have inventory, you have advertising, packaging, etc., etc., etc. Right? So many things. Like imagine this is a marker, whiteboard marker. On this also you will see so many prints. Right? Someone thought about it and started printing, labeling this product. How important this is? 10 rupees. But still people have thought through this, right? As a whole business model, as a product. Now this has to be made available in the market. This has to be advertised. Make this product reachable. Make information about this product reachable to customers. So, and also from where all I will get the funds. So whole business model has to be thought when we want to start business and not just one. That is why I asked question to some people. Like I want to start the college. Where you want to start? Why you want to start in that area? If you're starting in that area, do you have colleges which are going to feed students to your college of higher education? You're starting agriculture business. Where you are starting? In Bangalore. In Bangalore, if you start, where are the consumers? They are located in villages, nearby villages. How far these nearby villages are? What kind of agriculture activities they do? There are so many things in agriculture, right? Okay, electronic vehicles. So electronic vehicles, e-vehicles, right? Charging. Where you want to start? You want to start in Bangalore. Okay, in Bangalore, local people will prefer, but people have money. Why they will buy electronic vehicle which will run only for 40 kilometers or 50 kilometers, for which you have to charge 6 hours? You want instant charging units. Do you have instant charging units? No. How much money it will require to develop the technology of manufacturing electronic vehicles? How much money is required? Reva, it is there from 10 years. Why there are no other companies got into manufacturing electronic vehicles other than Mahindra, which came with two-wheelers? Do you think Maruti was not having money? Mahindra was not having money? Or Tata was not having money? Why it took so much time? Right? So here, it's not just only the product or service. Product or service is core. It is the core. But around that core, that center point, there are so many things which you have to link. You have to think about them. You have to organize the idea into whole picture. Then only you will be able to run it successfully. Next is poor financial management. Poor financial management. We got money. How much? 100 crore. And what I did with 100 crore? It came, I increased salaries of employees and money is over. What is example? What is this example for? Poor management of funds. You have borrowed money and what you did? Paid salaries. Entire money. Now again you don't have money. Then you will approach another time. You got money, what you did? You invested in shares. Share market collapsed. Your money vanished. You got money, what the CEO or director of the company who started this business, he has liquidated, so he got the money. What he will do? He'll buy a nice flat, 1 crore apartment or villa, 1 crore vehicle or 50 lakh vehicle, etc., 10 foreign trips, money is vanished. Poor financial management. Or all money spent only on advertising. All money has spent on procuring raw materials. Oh, I may not get in the future. So what I should do? The materials which I require after 6 months, I will buy now only and store it. I need them in the sixth month, but now I will store. I may not get it. What is happening here? We are spending the limited resources, limited finance, what we have on the unnecessary activities which could have been avoided or postponed. So financial management is also very, very important. If we do not distribute the funds properly among the various activities of enterprises, again, if one activity fail, it will have a rippling effect. Other activities get affected. Okay. If your raw materials are not available on time, your entire production process will stop. If you do not advertise, then if you do not advertise, customer will not know about your product. When customer don't know about your product, there is no demand in the market. Then the channel partners, wholesalers, distributors, retailers, they will not accept your product. So you have to also advertise. You also have to pay salaries. You also have to increase the salaries every year. So you have to manage the funds very, very well. Poor management, closure of businesses. Next point is rapid growth. rapid growth, then limited resources. Rapid growth, limited resources. What happens here? I started business in Bangalore. It is running awesome. Same type of environment is available in Mumbai. I will start in Mumbai. Hyderabad, Chennai, Delhi, Gurgaon, Ahmedabad, etc. So many places. Demand is there. Product is being accepted. But do I have the resources? The resources are already limited. But what I am doing with those resources? I am distributing those resources across India. Rapid growth. I want to acquire the entire Indian market. Resources are less. So from you suddenly started claiming that you are providing service across India. And slowly when you don't have resources, what you will do? We are out of Delhi. We are out of Gurgaon. We are out of Mumbai. We are out of Ahmedabad. Then slowly Hyderabad. Then we will close everything and we will remain only in Bangalore. So you are building your failure story. So you have to plan your growth properly. You have to scale up your business according to plan. You have to plan well, then allocate the resources, because all the resources what you have are limited. So you cannot explode your business idea and try to acquire entire world at one shot. It's not possible. Zomato, they did business only in India only in Bangalore for so many years. Swiggy, they did business only in Bangalore for so many days, so many years. Big Basket, they did only in Bangalore so many years. Chai Point, so many years. They restricted because they know their resources are limited. They will not be able to allocate resources to different areas, and also managing will be very, very difficult. So plan your growth and then allocate the resources. Slowly, you walk the path and increase the area of operations. Next is lack of business linkage. We are talked here about forward and backward. Forward linkage and backward linkage. It happens generally with new enterprises. When they enter into the market, the channel partners will not accept you immediately. They will try to assess you. Raw material suppliers, packaging material suppliers, advertising agencies, right? Recruitment agencies, etc., etc. All these channel partners, that is backward linkage. You want to tie up with them, but they are not ready. Likewise, forward linkage. The channel partners like wholesalers, retailers, distributors, okay, F&, forward and carriage agencies. So we are not able to build relationship with those. So when we fail to build relationship with backward integration and forward integration, or partners who are involved in backward, I mean behind the scenes and front of the scene, then also enterprises fail. And when I am not accepted by the channel partners, where I will advertise, from whom I will get my raw materials, how will I supply my products to market? Who will give me shelf space to show my product, display my product? Those all problems will arise. So we have to try to build our profile. We have to try to have a good product, quality service, and try to build trust among these channel partners. So it may happen that sometimes we may have to bear the losses, give extra profits to margin of profits to these channel partners. When you want to push your product into the market, then you have to give more margin to wholesaler, retailer, distributor. Then only what happens? these people, because you are getting more profit compared to competitors, they will try to push your product more. You go and ask Colgate, he will say Colgate is not there. Take Pepsodent. You go to again, the next time also you go, you ask for Colgate, he will say Colgate is not there. Take Pepsodent. So what they are doing? Pepsodent they are trying to push. Okay. It happens. Just an example. Okay. So you have to push, you have to give more profits or share more profit margin with these channel partners and try to build a relationship. So these people have to accept you, then only you will be able to succeed. Okay. Next is weak marketing efforts. Marketing is very, very crucial for any business, existing, new business, running business, successful business, whatever. Imagine even after so many years, 20 years, Google is advertising about their maps. Google is advertising about their Google search. Do you really think Google has a need to advertise about their Google search facility? You might have seen this advertisement. Google is ruling the world. Right? But still they are advertising about their products. Facebook is advertising about their product. Do you really think those people need advertising? Still they are doing it. You know? Marketing efforts are very, very crucial. You have the product, awesome product, you have the awesome service. Tell about it. Tell about it to your customers. Make them realize that they have need to buy your product. They should buy your product. You are better than competitors. Your price is less than others, or your price is more because your product is superior to others. Communicate about your product. Communicate about your technology. Communicate about your service. Communicate about your achievements, etc., etc. Talk to your customers. That is what marketing does. If you have everything and you keep it with yourself, who will come to know? And there is so many competitors fighting with each other, and you are not there. Like, if you are, like there is a saying for second year, I keep telling, if you are not on Google on first page, you're dead. You're as good as dead. How many times you searched on Google? One or the other thing. You searched on Google. How many times you went to page number 2, page number 3, page number 4? How many of times you went? If you're, that is why, if you're not on Google's first page, you're as good as dead as a business. So much awareness, so much advertising, so much marketing has to be done by the enterprises. Talk to customers. Talk to your customers and share information. Information could be anything. Okay, so talk to your customers. Next, if you don't talk, customers will not know about you, or they will forget out. They will forget you very well, very, very soon. That is why I said Google new feature came, they are also advertising. So it is must to carry out marketing efforts. Next is your lack of information gathering. You overlook this criteria. You have an idea, but you did not collect information related to this idea. Like your idea, how many competitors are there, what is the market size, what is the purchase capacity, type of demand your market has, location of the market, demographics of the market, competitors profile, competitors products, competitors' products, competitors' services, their prices, entire competitors' analysis, technological environment, legal environment, your political environment. You have to collect information about everything. All the internal and external environment, you have to collect the information because that is going to impact your business. But if you overlook, if you are only self-centered, you only think about yourself, your product, your service. Okay, if you are only self-centered and you are not collecting any information related to internal and external environment, then also your enterprises fail. Because this no information or less information will always lead into wrong decisions. If you don't do competitors analysis, then you lead into making decisions wrong, related to price, related to product features, related to packaging, etc., etc., etc. So do your information gathering very, very well. Next point when the companies fail is incorrect pricing and high cost. Your product is good, but the price you are charging is high, or the price you are charging is low. Okay, compared to competitors. If you are charging at par with the competitors, okay. If there is still demand which the competitor is not able to meet, your products will get sold. But imagine if your product is superior compared to competitor, customers are also ready to purchase your product at higher price. But what you are doing, you are selling at the price of a competitor, you are losing on profits. You actually can charge more and make more profits, but you are not charging. You are not doing your marketing research properly. Second thing, you are charging less than your competitor, thinking that all the customers will come to you. Okay, all the customers will come to you, but customers are ready to pay more. What they are already paying to the competitor, right? Same product, if you can sell at the same price, you can also make profit, provided there is more demand. But if you want to charge less, what about your cost? If you want to charge less than your competitors, what about the cost? If your costs are less, then only you can add some profit to your production cost. Then you can arrive at sales price. Okay. So cost plus profit equal to sales. If your cost is less, then you can add some profit. You can arrive at sales price. When you want to charge less, sales price less, then you should have your cost always less. You should have your cost always less. So if you are charging less, your cost should be less. Okay. If your costs are high, you are charging less, then your profit margin is always less. This is your sales. This is your entire sales. This is your cost, and this is your profit. But if your costs are less, this is your cost, this is your profit. If you cut down some profit, no problem, still you are making profit. If you cut down your profit, still you are making profit. If you cut down your some more profit, still you are making profit. Right? So if your cost is less, you can sell at less price compared to competitor. But if your cost itself is more, how much less you are going to charge? You also have to survive in the market. Right? So incorrect pricing. You assume that your product is superior without doing any research. You start charging high prices. Customers will not buy your product because there is nothing difference between your product and competitors. Are you assuming that your product will not get sold? You started selling at less price, your cost is more. Again, customers will think that your product is of not good quality. Again, you will get out of business. That is what happened with Tata Nano. 1 lakh car, poor people car. What happened? Everyone should have. There was so much halla gulla about Nano. What happened with Nano? They last month, like March, they manufactured only 1 car. They closed their business. Had that been a very good idea, rather than taking two-wheeler, everybody would have bought a Nano. Why Enfield should get sold at 1,50,000? Those fellows could have bought Nano. Rather than 1 fellow, 2 fellow, 4 fellow can travel, right? But it didn't get sold. Price is less. Do you think there was no demand for cars? Yes, demand for cars. But customers didn't prefer. They didn't buy. Out of business. So you have to price your product good. You have to keep your cost low. Okay. Else you will again fail. Next is improper inventory control. Improper inventory control. You have to manage your inventory very, very good. When customer is reaching the retail shop, your product should be there on the shelf. When customer is coming to showroom, your product should be there in the showroom. You cannot say that come tomorrow. It happens only with Giffin's. Like there is a concept called Giffin's paradox where demand also increases, prices also increases. Like when price increases, demand also increases. It happens with gold or diamonds, right? Because those are state symbols. State symbols. Here, you have to manage your product inventory very well. Not just product inventory, your raw materials. If your raw materials are not on time, your entire production process will stop. Your semi-finished products, like this is the marker, it should have a ink. You have everything. You have everything, but your ink is not there. What is the use of having entire product in place then, when there is no ink in it? You should have all the raw materials. You should have all the semi-finished goods, and also you should manage your finished goods inventory. The process should be so smooth. There should not be any bottlenecks. Okay, the product from raw materials to manufacturing to reaching the shelf, the process should be smooth. Inventory should be managed properly. Okay, you should always have to. There is an entire concept called as inventory control on this. So you have to manage your inventory properly. You have demand, but you don't have products in the marketplace. Customers will come, go back. You will supply tomorrow. Customer will not come thinking that your product is not available in the market. Right? So improper inventory control. What happens generally? What mistakes generally new ventures do this? Whenever we want to see, it has to go parallel. Your product should reach the marketplace, and also your marketing communication should reach the customers. Okay. If your products reach the market first and you have not advertised, customers will not know about the existence of your product. Then your intermediaries will start fighting with you because customers are not coming to purchase. So they don't want to give you the shelf space. They're not making any profit by keeping your product there. So if your marketing communication is slow, if your marketing communication is speed, it has reached customer already, but your supply is slow. Customers are already aware, right? They know everything, very much excited. They come to shops, your product is not there because it is still under supply. Customers will. It's a loss of revenue for the company. So you have to manage your inventory very, very good. Next is Short-term outlook. Short-term outlook. Short-term outlook is you only think about today, tomorrow, or 1 week, 1 month. That's it. You do your demand analysis only for 1 month or 1 week. Short-term analysis. You have not thought about the bigger picture. You never thought about the bigger picture that you can create with your enterprise. You only have a short vision. You have never ever thought about more than 1 month. Okay. So when you have short visions, shorter outlook, you always worry about making profits. Some of the times, profits you may realize later in the stage. You may earn revenue, but profits may take time. Generally, it is said that gestation period for a company is 3 years. I mean, whatever I have invested, I may make revenue from day 1, but to make profits, it may take for me 3 years. After 3rd year, I will start making the profits. Or my break-even point. When I will reach my break-even point? What is a break-even point? Break-even point is a point where my sales are increasing, my cost is coming down. This is sales, this is cost. This is the point where my sales and cost are equal. Here, S is equal to C. Sales and cost are equal. That point is called as break-even point. BEP. To reach this point, it will take 3 years for companies. So, if we think only short term, then what will happen? We keep on changing our business plan every month. This plan will get closed after 1 month because we have not planned, we have not thought about it. It's a whole picture. We never try to be futuristic, and we end up closing our business or continuously making planning, executing. That's it. Last point here is lack of coordination. Coordination can be vertical coordination, horizontal coordination, internal coordination within the company, or external coordination. Coordination with the people who are outside the organization. Maybe coordination with the government agencies, coordination with the suppliers of raw materials, coordinators with the maybe with the financial creditors, coordination will be with the forward linkage people involved in like distribution, storage, etc. with those people. External coordination with the public relations agencies like news, papers, televisions, etc. Right? So coordination with external people and coordination within the organization, like your employees. Now here within the organization, it can be with the vertical, that is lower level, middle level, higher level, and also coordination horizontally, like same level departments, marketing department, sales department, finance department, marketing manager, sales manager, finance manager, same level. So coordination between all the levels, vertical, horizontal, within the company and also outside the company is also very, very crucial. If we do not coordinate properly, manage the coordination properly, that also may lead to closure of enterprises. Like I said, if you do not file, if you start a private limited company and for 2 years, if you do not file your financial annual returns, like you have to submit every year, you have to submit your balance sheet, profit and loss account to Ministry of Corporate Affairs, that is Registrar of Companies. Every year you have to do it. If you don't do it for 2 years, they will issue a notice. If you don't reply, they will issue a notice and close you, seal your business. What happened? You did not coordinate. You did not coordinate with the government agency. Closed. Okay. So that's how, that is one of the examples. So that's how coordination is also very, very important. You have to pass on information, internal, external, very. So these are the reasons because of which the new enterprises may fail. Okay, may fail. But keeping this reason in mind, we always should try to avoid these. Avoid these in the sense you should not do these mistakes. You try to fill these gaps. That is why I asked you question, what business you want to start and why. And then I asked again some more questions which may be related to probing about these areas. Have you done all this? If you have not done this, you may lead into, your enterprise may lead into a failure. Okay. So these are the points which you people have to keep in mind while starting your own enterprises. If you have anything to add, you can increase the list, but these are the major aspects which I could think of. If there is anything need to be added, you are free to do it. Keep reading, keep learning, keep gaining the knowledge, and keep always thinking. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. Have a nice evening. Take care.